I'm not ashamed to own my Lord, nor to defend his cause. Maintain the honors of his word, the glory of his cross.
Hello, I'm James Brown, and on behalf of the Eastern Church of Christ located in Toronto, Canada, I'd like to welcome you to today's edition of Walking Through the Bible, a podcast where we seek to study the Bible and the Bible alone. Please stick around afterwards for information on how you can contact us. But for now, please go to the book of Genesis, and we'll turn you over to Jeremy Disocam for our study of the day.
Thank you, James, and welcome to all of our viewers. This is the 165th lesson in our study of Genesis. Yesterday we covered Genesis chapter 48, verses 17 to 22, discussing how Jacob blessed Ephraim with a greater blessing than Manasseh. If you missed that episode and would like to watch it, you can find it and all of our other podcasts on our website at www.easternchurch.org. You can also find them on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/EastEndChurchOfChrist under the Walking Through the Bible Genesis playlist. Today we're going to begin with Genesis chapter 49, verse 1 and read through verse 7. The text that you'll see on the screen is from the English Standard Version, but you're welcome to follow along with any version that you have. So let's now read Genesis 49, beginning at verse 1. Then Jacob called his sons and said, "Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you what shall happen to you in days to come. Assemble and listen, O sons of Jacob, listen to Israel your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the first fruits of my strength, preeminent in dignity and preeminent in power. Unstable as water, you shall not have preeminence, because you went up to your father's bed, then you defiled it. He went up to my couch. Simeon and Levi are brothers. Weapons of violence are their swords. Let my soul come not into their counsel, O my glory be not joined to their company. For in their anger they killed men, in their willfulness they hamstrung oxen. Cursed be their anger, for it is fierce, and their wrath, for it is cruel. I will divide them in Jacob, and scatter them in Israel." Jacob is 147 years old in this chapter and is near death. Before he died, he called his sons together so that he could give them final blessings. While we might think of blessings as simply well wishes, we have seen in this book that blessings carried with them some prophetic purposes and thus must come from God speaking through the patriarch. Such is the case here. In chapter 48, we had Jacob blessing Ephraim and Manasseh and revealing to us that Ephraim would be greater than Manasseh, something that comes true in the days of Rehoboam, as Ephraim would become the major tribe in the northern kingdom of Israel. So what we're going to find here is that Jacob is going to go through each of his 12 sons and tell them what shall happen to them in days to come. He begins with Reuben. Since Reuben is the firstborn, it is only logical for Jacob to start with him. As the firstborn, Reuben would normally be entitled to the birthright, the double portion of his father's inheritance. However, listen to Jacob's words. He says that Reuben is the first fruits of my strength, preeminent in dignity and preeminent in power. This was Reuben's right, but he had forfeited that right because he went up and defiled his father's bed. This story is found in Genesis 35:22 and is an event that happened about 40 years earlier by that point in time. However, this event showed Reuben to have an unstable character, something that the scriptures have borne out time and time again in the last part of the Genesis accounts. Jacob wasn't going to give preeminence among his sons to someone of such instability, so Reuben lost his birthright. Even though this chapter doesn't say, we know that chapter 48 says that it was Joseph who received the birthright because his sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, sons of Joseph, would both inherit land in Canaan. Read ahead in the Old Testament and you'd find Jacob's prophecy to be true. It would be Judah, not Reuben, that would gain preeminence among the 12 tribes. Jacob then moves to Simeon and Levi, his next two sons. These two seemingly worked in tandem with one another, so they are dealt with together. In his speech, he calls out Simeon and Levi for what they did to the men of Shechem, as well as the animals that they carried off in Genesis 34. Of course, if you recall, Simeon and Levi killed the men of Shechem because Shechem, a man, raped their sister Dinah. Genesis 34 says that they carried off the livestock, but Jacob here says they did more than that. They lamed the livestock. Simeon and Levi, even though it appeared to them that they were carrying out justice, they were in fact carrying out revenge, something we're never to do. Shechem the man was guilty, and so Shechem the man should have been punished. They should not have killed those who were completely innocent. Jacob cursed their anger and wrath, and said he would divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. Note, Jacob did not completely dispossess them. They would still inherit, but their inheritance would be scattered. This is exactly what happened. The tribe of Simeon would receive an inheritance, but Joshua 19:1 says that it was within the boundaries of the inheritance of Judah. Eventually, the tribe of Simeon fades from existence, simply enveloped by Judah. In Joshua 21:1-3, we find that the tribe of Levi only received cities among the other tribes of Israel. However, the Lord would later also bless the tribe of Levi by naming them to the priesthood. In tomorrow's episode, we'll discuss the future of the tribe of Judah. With that, our time is up for today. Please join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow when we will continue our study of Genesis, beginning with Genesis 49, verse 8.
Thank you, Jeremy. And to our viewers, we also thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Should you have a question or comment, please leave them below or email them to answerintheword@gmail.com. We'll try to respond to you as quickly as we can. We hope you'll join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow when we will be continuing on our study of the book of Genesis. Goodbye for now and have a great day.
I'm not ashamed to own my Lord, nor to